midnight. We're going to be here, brothers and sisters, by the provision of Almighty God, Allah. We thank him so much for allowing us this platform, WVON 1690. And we got a strong hour of power, Brother Naba'a, Brother James G. What we got for the people, brother?
You know, we have holding. We've got Brother Wesley Muhammad, who's going to join us in a few in our 10 o'clock hour. But then in our final hour, we're going to have, inshallah, two brothers come on and talk to us about reparations. One is actually part of the reparations movement in California, which is doing some interesting things. But Brother Doctor, Student Minister, Brother Wesley Muhammad, are you in with us right now?
I am. Assalamu alaikum and happy Saviours Day.
Man, happy Saviours
Happy
Day.
Saviours Day, Doc.
Happy Saviours Day. Walaikum salam, bro.
Wow.
How brothers doing?
Brother,
Doing well.
man,
Hey,
you know, whenever
wonderful.
I hear from you, I'm doing well. I'm trying not to be too hyped, but this man, brother,
Oh,
this man is a
brother.
Muslim.
Yes, sir. He's a traitor.
Man, Brother
Yes.
Wesley, I know we talked about kind of being free flowing tonight. I want to start from a different place, and I hope it makes sense. So if I don't make sense, or if I'm unclear, say, Brother Nava, that don't make sense. Or you need to clear that up. But I had a conversation earlier, Brother Wesley, right? And so often we talk about the harrowing conditions in which we find ourselves and the conditions that plague our people. But what I said to this person in the conversation is, we are not predestined for that. If God came to save us and gave us a savior, actually saviors, right? If he came to save us and to put us in heaven at once, do we have to suffer? Or is our suffering commensurate with our failure to understand and to act in accord with the time and what the God is trying to do for us? Does that make sense, Brother Wesley, or did I have a little bit too much coffee today?
No,
It makes a lot of sense.
the only thing I might nuance a bit,
Yeah.
real minor, I would just say that, in fact, a harrowing condition we were predestined for.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's that Black America has found itself in. Black America is very peculiar from everything and every people on the planet. This condition was predestined. It was, God did say, be to this condition. He allowed Satan to take us to the depth of hell.
Yes.
So black people live in hell, yes, by design. Now the problem is, and why your point is so correct, God did come to give to us our earnings from living in this condition. See, God didn't put us in this condition because he's an evil God. He did not predestine this fate for us because he's an evil God. He did so because he knew this condition will reward us like no people in 76 trillion years of existence has ever been rewarded. This, our suffering was always intended to be redemptive. Now, the time was set for God to come and deliver that redemption. Give us the reward that we earned in 2023. Well, now 2024. Black people remaining in this condition because, to your point, Brother Naba'a, black people have refused the hand of God that has come to make our suffering redemptive. In 2024, we should not be suffering collectively the way we are we do so now only because we are not accepting God's hand to us to translate our suffering into salvation.
Wow, Brother Wesley, thank you. And look, brothers and sisters, 773-591-1690. We want you to call in and join and take advantage of this conversation. Brother Wesley, can we take a call real quick? This looks
Sure.
like Cherokee James. Let's bring Cherokee in. Cherokee, you're in the conversation. Welcome to the show.
Yes, Alito, good narrator you bring in.
Crazy.
Can you speak up just a little bit so we can make sure we hear you, okay?
Okay, is that better?
That's a little better, yes, sir.
Okay, well, we don't fall. You fall to your knees. I fell to my knees, you know. Being a Cherokee native from Mississippi, I have land in the country inherited from my ancestors. And a lot of us do. That's my reparation.
Yes, sir.
And I'm talking with my family now, planting food out there and building out there. And this is what a lot of us are doing like our ancestors did and tried to do. But the request is to the settlers and the government to not allow us to do it, but they know we want to do it. We just don't want to do it we're in fear. We want to do it to make America and heal America from its past. From Andrew Jackson taking the South, 145 million acres at Smoky Mountain, all the South, Mississippi, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida, and removing our people to Oklahoma through the Trail of Tears. We don't want that anymore. We want safety is the big thing in our land. That's the trouble. We want safety, and when you tell them that you are indigenous of this land, that's my safety. I'm a peaceful person. I don't commit crimes. I'm very peaceful because I'm indigenous in blood. And so what I'm trying to say is a lot of us have land, and don't be scared to go and build there.
Yes, sir.
That's really our only option at this time. People are vacating Africa, vacating all over the world. Okay, that's your choice. I choose to build here. You know, my ancestors say, keep your 10 toes down. So that I'm going to leave you with that.
All right.
And kind of give me some feedback on us building on our land again, like 1,000 townships, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood. Can you give me a little bit of that thought? I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Cherokee. Brother Wesley, you want to offer some thoughts on our brother's comments?
Well, our destiny is land. Our future is absolutely contingent upon the acquisition of land. And so the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we want and we deserve from the U.S. government as reparations. He did not use that language.
Right.
But that is what it amounts to. We are owed states where we can establish our own independent sovereign nation. So the discussion around and about reparations must be anchored in the acquisition of land. Any discussion of reparations that does not center the land that's due us, I think is reaching for low fruit, low hanging fruit.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate our brother's emphasis on the land question, and whether with our indigenous family, but the so-called Negro in America too, we have paid in blood for the status at this point of indigenous. I'm sure I murdered that word. It's late.
It's all right.
Talking to my head. But at this point, we paid the cost in blood to be considered indigenous to this land, owners to this land. The last point I will make on that point is this is why we in the nation of Islam, under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and today the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan, we understand the cry and the ideology of going back to Africa, and we always want that option and that right. But the program of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad does not prepare us to leave America and return to Africa. The promised land is here in America. This soil, drenched with the blood of our indigenous family and drenched with our blood. With that blood, we paid the price for this real estate. So the future of the black man in America, come to find out, it's not in Africa. The post-slavery future of the black man and woman in America, it's not in Africa. It's here in America, but under a righteous governing body of the black man and woman. Right. Separate from the white man.
All right. All right. Let's take another caller. Let's take Joe, who's been holding. Let's bring Joe.
How you doing?
Hey, welcome to the show, Joe. Go ahead with your question, please, or your comment.
Yeah, with this reparations, it just don't seem real to me. I don't think they want to give us nothing. All these years, I don't think they want to give us nothing. It's gonna be hard for them to give us something, man. I don't know what the deal on that is, but ain't got enough of us pushing for it, man.
Yeah.
And another thing, it seemed like we taking a step backwards here in the United States. Now you got a man out there now, called Donald Trump, and he's going through the same policies that we went through when it was Martin Luther King. We were doing all that marching, Yes. It seems like every one of them that get up in there, man, is the same way, racist, I can't figure it out. All them white supremacists. And then you got some of us black people. We want him now. We want the white man. We want the white supremacist to be a mayor. Because they're migrants. The migrants over there, we want him. This man ain't going to get no migrants out there. He going to get up in there, man, and look out for himself. You know that. You don't care about no black people. You understand? Mm-hmm. Then they got a lot of these little black celebrities even winning. Guys like Don King and Mike Tyson, all these people, Still O'Neal, they want Trump. It's, the way we do, black people, we get up there, we just don't want to treat each other right, man. Just can't figure it out, man.
Well, let's Joe. Thank you. Let's bring Brother Wesley back and let's see if we can kind of figure this out together. Thank you, Joe, for calling. Brother Wesley, you heard our brother, so I'm gonna let you go, and then after you say what you say, I might say something, but I might not need to say nothing.
Oh, I'm sure, because I want to be edified by your thoughts on the matter as well. I would only say to my brother Joe, I agree with you. It is not in while reparations are due to America's former slaves. It is right and it is just that we receive reparations. I agree with you, Brother Joe. It is not in the nature of America to do justice by her former slaves. It's not in her nature to do so. I, like you, do not see America willingly giving us what's due, but we in the Nation of Islam, we don't lose any sleep over that prospect.
Right.
That's right.
Because the Quran says Allah takes the kingdom from whom he pleases, and he gives it to whom he pleases. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad put on the back of the newspaper what the Muslims want, and he identified our desire to have states given to us by the government, and that the government has a duty to take care of our needs in that state or territory of our own for 25 years. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made that offer to the enemy, it wasn't because we needed the enemy to accept that offer.
Ooh.
The messenger of God offering the enemy an opportunity to earn a glass of water in hell. That's all that was. That's all that is. So we don't need him to be accommodating, to be conciliatory. We don't need him to be other than who he is, a man who by nature is incapable of being just to his former slaves. All we need is to know that Allah has come, and reparations will come to us. The question is, how many white people will make it into the hereafter?
Woo! Brother Wesley, I just wanted to add, I ain't got nothing to add. We're going to go to Art and let him ask his question and make his comment.
Go ahead.
Art, go right ahead.
Hey, good evening, young people. Here's a statement, and that is a question. You know, I'm looking at our community, and I see a broken family, black man, black woman, black children. And until we can get to the basic community code of conduct and a universal family value system and rebuild and re-strengthen the black family, all is lost until the churches, the mosques can come together and put religious doctrines to the side and deal with the fundamental principles of rebuilding and re-strengthening general and universal community codes of conduct. All is lost for black people in our community. So I've been around and I ain't seen and heard it pretty much everything, and it seems like at this present point we're in the same spot or worse than we were before. And I see it until those men and women who are sitting in position of authority and power and have the people's ear to whatever degree, until those individuals come together and indoctrinate or campaign on rebuilding the black family, which is a black man, black woman, and black children, all is lost. We got so much crime, killing, murder, and the way we used to do things is totally different. I'm not saying the principle is not the same, but the way we're going about it. And until we can catch the youth and those men and women who are not getting it, I don't see no way out of this unless we rebuild the black family and focus on family, the black family.
Yeah.
Because other ethnicities, they deal with family. That's why they are successful. They talk about the family. We on all types of other stuff, and I'm not saying those things are not important, but until we get to the basics, I just don't see, so far I haven't seen any improvement. It's worse than it was before.
You know, Art,
yes.
excuse me. We know that this is the issue that you are dedicated to. But like I said last week, man, if you start organizing people, if you start pulling people together to have discussions about this community code of conduct, we will bring you on the show, man, and give you an hour to talk about this work that you're doing to approach mosques, to approach churches, to approach community leaders. And everything starts small. The Million Man March started small, but it was the faith. So, you know, I think that that's a great idea and something that's needed. But it takes somebody to be the catalyst. And I say, since it's your idea, get busy, and we will support you in trying to do what needs to be done to build the black family. Okay, so we're going to go to
Let me just say this real
Go
quick.
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
definitely would like to comment on my brother's great comments,
Yeah.
if I may.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you finish, then, Brother Wesley? You can come right in. Okay.
Yes, sir. I challenge Brother Wesley. I challenge you, brother. I challenge the entire mosque because I'm familiar with that. I challenge Trinity Church. I challenge all of you all because it's not me as an individual. I can come and I can, just like I'm speaking to you all on the radio, but if we're willing to open our ears and sit certain things to the side and hear exactly what I'm saying, it's really simple. It's not hard. We have to focus and rebuild and re-strengthen family and sit the doctrines to the side and say the focus we want to focus on is rebuilding the black family and come up with simple programs that all churches and mosques, no matter who show up there, this is what black people are teaching our young people, men and women who have missed it, where it don't matter what place we show up. This is not no hard. Dr. Wesley he's a doctor, a scholar. All you young people are brilliant. I don't have no college degree or any of these different things. But I know one thing, it ain't that hard. We just got to have the will to say, hey, you know, we can do this because it's not hard. And this is what our people are missing. They're missing something universal. We all just in our own corners tooting our own personal position, but we're not teaching anything that's universal, no matter what church or mosque you're going to. This is the book that we are operating from, that the community agrees with. But I'll leave you that, and I would love to hear what you brothers think on that. May God continue to bless.
All right, thank you. Brother Wesley, go ahead, and then I may go after you, but you may just not leave me nothing to say, but go right ahead.
Yes, sir. Our brother's name is Brother Arthur.
Right, or Art, either one. Yeah.
Thank you, Brother Art, for your words. I don't know what your challenge is or was. The words that I heard from you are absolutely spot on. The fact of the matter is the fundamental problem of Black America is the destruction of the family. Brother Art, I do not know if you know, but the code of the Nation of Islam is God, family, nation.
Say that again, Brother Wesley.
God, family, nation. That's our code. God is at the root of family. I want to speak on that and share something with you that maybe you might not have perceived. God, family, nation. The nation is nothing but the conglomerate, the aggregate of the family. The family is the microcosm of the nation. So you neutralize the family, you destroy the nation. Right. So in Islam, the sins and the crimes that bear the most severe penalty are those sins or crimes that violate family structure. So, Brother Art, The problem is the family, and the solution, as you are suggesting, is the family, the restoration of the family. Here's the complication. George Soros gives Black Lives Matter, the organization, millions of dollars. Why? Because George Soros values Black life? I doubt that very seriously. What I do know is that the millions of dollars that George Soros gave to Black Lives Matter, the group, went to promote a particular idea of village, of community, of Black community. And in that envisioned community that our enemy financed to the tune of millions of dollars, that village specifically had a place for mother, child, but no father. And why this is important is because Black Lives Matter, all of us are chanting it. And all of us are supportive of it, but the devil always comes through a Trojan horse. He always slides in through a Trojan horse. Yes, the motto Black Lives Matter is right, but there's a movement underneath that motto that went to the heart of Black America, the Black family. And what is the real aim? What is the real method of neutralizing the Black family? It's making sure there is no Black father there. So, beloved, you mentioned great language, community code of conduct. The Nation of Islam is not a religion. We are a community code of conduct. That's precisely how we move. This is why people, Black people, they like to listen to us, but most of us are keeping adequate degrees of distance from us because you know that the Nation of Islam is beyond religious teaching. We embody a code of conduct.
Right.
And that code of conduct, if our code of conduct was embraced, forget the religion. If our code of conduct was embraced community-wide, then the community would be God, family, nation. The community will have a strong Black male head of household there that is not just head of household, but head of community. See, today, Brother Art, we want to be too progressive.
Yeah.
We want to negotiate what family can look like, can be like. We don't want to come off as being Neanderthal and patriarchal because don't nobody like that in America today. Because don't nobody like a man being in authority in the Black home. The assault on the Black family is, you put your finger there, brother, right on it. The Black family is the problem. The Black family is the solution. I'm suggesting that we have to see the assault against the family, the Black family, at a deeper level. Because when all of Black America was made to get behind the movement of Black Lives Matter, most of us did not know that that was a directed assault on the Black family. Satan comes subtle. So I don't know what your challenge was to me, Brother Arthur. You get no argument on your proposition from me or from us in the Nation of Islam. We know that the assault on the family is the problem and the restoration of the family is the solution. This is why we talking about, now close on this, community code of conduct, Monday night men's training to be good men, good fathers. Saturday morning, women's training our sisters to be good wives, good mothers. The problem is we think that we just wake up like that. No, you got to be trained. You got to have a particular knowledge in order to be a good father. You got to have a particular knowledge in order to be a good wife and mother. You don't wake up like that.
That's right.
That's a code of conduct that we live.
All right. I'll just add this to Art. I'm not following Brother Wesley. Let me just be clear on that. But Art, I said that you should start the organizing because you have the idea. And if your idea is rooted in truth, you don't need to have none of the other things. All you need to do is to take your concept of the truth and then try to connect people as you desire for them to be connected. That's all. It's like the show that we have. We had a desire, right? We had a desire to be a voice and a defense for Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, but not just any voice. We decided happily that we were going to brand ourselves as black, strong, and unapologetically pro-Farrakhan.
Right.
Right? We didn't call for somebody else to do it. We did it. We had an idea. So we started, by Allah's grace, organizing forces. So now we're blessed to have Brother BJ, Black Radio Hall of Fame radio personality. I don't think you heard me. I done bumped into the microphone. Black Radio Hall of Fame, James G. Muhammad, consummate media professional, senior vice president of a major organization that knows media communications. Man, are you kidding me? And he's a former editor-in-chief of the Final Call. And he went on the World Friendship Tour with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Go ahead.
So I say, Art, again, man, you got the seed. You have the idea. It's beautiful to spread it over the airwaves. But if you want us to come together, somebody's got to take the lead. And I know you, like, sometimes you don't say, but we need leadership, Art. And if this is your vision, if this is your thing, we welcome you to step forward. Brother James, Brother BJ, y'all kind of quiet. Y'all can get in on this, or y'all just like me.
It was a great conversation, man. And and I agree on everything you said, and as well as Brother Wesley. But I was going to ask Dr. Wesley, and I didn't want to take it off the track of the conversation, but you know, I know Dr. Wesley's been out front with a lot of different topics that he brings up for the public consumption, like his book on your book, Brother Wesley, on assault on the male masculinity, which was part of the conversation we just had, and the pot plot, how you talked about what they're doing with the marijuana and various other issues. So I was wondering, is there something top of mind that you are looking at that we should be really concerned about that maybe we haven't mentioned yet? Of course, we know the Honorable Minister Farrakhan is going to speak, and I know you're kind of getting prepared for all of that. But is there something else that you're doing your research on that you think we need to know about that we may not be focusing on, that we may need to focus on?
Well, you know, they say there's 6 million ways to kill a man. The white man is killing us in 6 million in one way. So every contribution is important. This is why I don't dismiss anybody's thinking. We in the Nation of Islam, we don't delegitimize any black organization. They may not be doing what we're doing, but that's good because somebody got to do it, because all of it needs to be done. Our focus might not be your focus. Everybody's focus lands right because our problem is everywhere. I would not, dear brother, suggest that there's something that I'm personally doing that I would say on these airwaves the people should focus on. I do think the people should get ready to focus February 25th to 2024. Focus on the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan and the message he will deliver. We are living in a very dark hour. And we have not experienced such traumatic world events and then witness the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan be so quiet for so long. That should let you know that Allah is feeding him and has made him pregnant with a very important message for the world that's going to put all of this in its proper perspective for all of us. And this is an hour light. We have not seen, my God, we just come through COVID and all of the fears and the loss of COVID, but the minister said that was the beginning. And so here we are today. COVID is gone, so President Biden said. We've passed through that, but to end up here. Where is here? I think all of us should be anxiously awaiting the answer to that question that we will hear from the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan. That is the focus.
And I just would add on that, though, COVID broke out as the Honorable Minister Farrakhan spoke in Detroit, and we're going back to Detroit. So as you said, it's very significant. And we got to be on watching out for what comes out of that.
I didn't even make that connection. Great observation, dear brother.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Dr. Wesley.
Go ahead, Brother DJ.
We got a quick question for you, brother. I wanted to see what your take on with the deeper understanding of what you may have saw that nobody else saw in the Cat Williams, Shannon Sharp interview where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's name was mentioned. Then Brother Willie D on his podcast, he also made reference to the minister, and combined, both of those podcasts got 87 million views, brother. So what do you think was the fascination, particularly with Black America, with the minister's name being referenced in those two podcasts? Did you see anything that we may have missed?
I don't know. I certainly would not say that. I saw a number of things, in particular in the Cat Williams interview. I did watch it. I was led to it for reasons unrelated to what the 2.5 hours were about. Of course, we don't like to see black on black altercations on any level.
Right.
I did not know Cat Williams's relationship to the Nation of Islam. They're out in Oakland, he said. I did not know that. I did not know his relationship to the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan. That was great. I have to tell you, there was one thing of that 2.5 hours, I think nearly 3 hours of that interview. There was a single thing that made the whole time I listened worthwhile. The piece, there was a particular piece that got my attention, and it ain't got nothing to do with Cat Williams' funk with his fellow comedians.
Right.
He said he revealed something that was a mic drop. Let me back up a little context. When I was blessed to speak on the assassination of Michael Jackson, a dear brother Michael Jackson, I spoke on the dark side of Hollywood. Hollywood's darkest side is gay pedophilia. Hollywood is a dark, dark, dark place. And when we spoke at the Salam restaurant on the subject during a mass, myself and Sister Janita in that episode, I said that Harvey Weinstein is a cover. Harvey Weinstein, up until this point, has been presented as more like a heterosexual predator, typical man, Hollywood power mogul who abused women with the casting couch. And Harvey Weinstein, he messed up and was kicked out of the club. He was offered up as a sacrifice, but the whole narrative around Harvey Weinstein's abuses and the Hollywood abuses was his abuse, heterosexual abuse of women. But the darkness of Hollywood ain't that, I said that. Hollywood's dark foundation is homosexual pedophilia. And Harvey Weinstein being tossed out there and all the media around him and his abuse of women, that was a smokescreen. So when Cat Williams sat there and said, he just in passing let it fall out of his mouth that he was, one more point, because see, all of Harvey Weinstein's pals in Hollywood are the gay mafia. The mafia of Hollywood is not a heterosexual mafia, it's a gay mafia. And Harvey Weinstein, all of his people were the gay mafia, but the entire narrative was totally heterosexual. Heterosexual predation. The predator, this was heterosexual male who's a predator. Well, when Cat Williams sat on that couch and said he was in the room when Harvey Weinstein, in front of all of them, offered to perform fellatio on Cat Williams. That's the first time. See, that was whoa. That was the first time the gay element was introduced into the Harvey Weinstein narrative. But we had always said that, no, the Harvey Weinstein narrative, media narrative, is a smokescreen. The true evil of Hollywood is not women on the casting couch. The true evil of Hollywood is gay pedophilia.
Wow.
And so that, to me, was a jaw-dropping moment. Or that 2.5 hours of Brother Cat Williams' discussion on Shannon Sharp. I do hope my brother, regarding all of what he spoke of, I do hope our brothers can work it out.
Yes, sir, brother.
But I appreciate him having the courage to drop that jewel, that detail gave clarity to the whole Harvey Weinstein affair.
Brother Wesley, you know we're at that point where I have to ask you if you can stay over a little bit because we got some questions. And
a little bit.
a little bit.
I can't stay too much longer,
Okay.
but I got another 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, good. All right. Cliff, let's get you in. Let's get your question in, Cliff, for 2 minutes. Then we're going to take a break. Then we're going to come back and wrap up these other calls. Okay, Cliff, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. That sounds fair. Hey, I want to stay on that subject to segue into my issue, my question. And that gayness, that homosexuality, you know, Brother Wesley, I totally agree. And let me also say this, that Puffy is involved in that. And then that leads up to T.D. Jakes, you know, our black clergy, our high elite and recognizable black clergy. I believe that happened as well. So the point I'm making is that when it comes down to the black leadership, and I am a Christian, I belong to the Black Baptist Church. However, in terms of leadership and the spokespeople or the spokesperson for the black community, I don't trust the black pastors as the spokesperson for our community. And let me give you another example. And you mentioned earlier, the vaccine. Now, many in our black community, the government, led by white Democrats, deceived and convinced many of our black preachers to take the vaccine. I myself, when this whole thing came out, was very skeptical. But what I did do, I turned to the minister to get truth because I know that without a doubt, historically, that the minister had always had love for the black people. So why would he tell us to take the vaccine when he shows and demonstrates love to us? So when he said take hydrochloroquine or hydromectin as an option, then I refused at that point to take any of those vaccines. However, in Connecticut, many of our black preachers...
Cliff?
And you know the whole narrative in terms of we are the population that are most vulnerable. You know the whole spiel with that. But the point I'm saying in closing with this, when we come down to reparations, and this has been my observation, the enemy always converse and deals with the Negroes they can control. So if you want to talk about reparations and would be a perfect solution, in my opinion, the white man ain't going to deal with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He's going to go to either the black preachers, the Negro Black Baptist Convention, or he's going to go to the NAACP and these organizations, brothers, and I don't trust and think that they have the best interest of black people. So my question is, how do we get the white man, the enemy, the devil, and that's just coming from me, how do we get them to respect the true leadership and the true representation of the black community other than these fake Negroes, man, that they would prefer to deal with? How do we mandate that the white man, the enemy, deal with the true leadership, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?
All right. Thank you, Cliff. Look, we're going to have to take a break real quick, Brother Wesley. We come back. We'll deal with that. You're listening to Straight Words on WVON AM 1690. We're at the top of the hour. Hey, stay tuned. You know you don't want to miss this. We're going to do Brother Wesley, then we're doing reparations. Let's go.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
I'm I'm Terry McCready.
And I'm Kevin Brown, and you're home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
The youngest son of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has died following a battle with prostate cancer. The King Center has confirmed Dexter Scott King has passed away. His wife, Leah Weber King, said he died peacefully in his sleep at their Malibu home. King was 62. The Black Information Network will have more details coming up.
A closer look at a viral video of a campus police officer kneeling on a black teenager near a high school in Las Vegas, Nevada. The Clark County School District says the teen refused officers' warnings to back away from the active scene, which sparked the encounter. ACLU Nevada Executive Director Ata Asabullah.
Shut the up! Back up! Back up! Come at me again! Come on, bro. Stop moving, dude! Stop moving! Get up on me, bro! Stop moving!
The incident happened last February, but the video was withheld for almost a year until the American Civil Liberties Union complained. The officer involved has reportedly denied any wrongdoing.
GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley is hoping to translate Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dropping out of the race into momentum at the ballot box. The former South Carolina governor at a rally over the weekend in a New Hampshire high school auditorium.
Thank you so much, Exeter, for coming out. Can you hear that sound? That's the sound of a two-person race.
Haley telling the crowd may the best woman win while she's still polling far behind the former president in the polls. The DeSantis announcement has apparently energized her campaign ahead of the primary in the Granite State.
Upcoming nuptials for South Carolina Republican Senator Tim Scott. The former presidential candidate announced his engagement to Mindy Nose over the weekend. The couple began dating last year after meeting at church, and there was plenty of intrigue surrounding Scott's relationship status on the 2023 campaign trail. 58-year-old Scott formally endorsed Donald Trump for president during a rally in New Hampshire.
All right, well, officials at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida, are confirming the location of the lost Port Tampa Cemetery. It's the burial site for many black families interred during segregation following an archaeological survey identifying over 100 possible graves there. Public Affairs Officer 2nd Lieutenant Laura Anderson telling ABC News that it was a solemn feeling knowing that one of Tampa's lost cemeteries is located where they live and work. Researchers at the Tampa Bay History Center contacted the base 5 years ago about the possibility of a cemetery inside the base after records were discovered dating back to 1939, gave a loose description of the Port Tampa Cemetery's location. For more international, national, state, and local news impacting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network and on X, formerly known as Twitter, at BlackInfoNet. I'm Terry McCready along with Kevin Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
It's all about great food and service at Let's Eat to Live restaurant located at 621 East 67th Street on the south side of Chicago. Fresh, healthy, life-giving meals prepared with love. Veggies, fish, chicken, lamb, burgers, soups, breads, delicious desserts, and more. Some coming from our on-site garden in season. We got good food for your soul. It's 621 East 67th Street. It's Let's Eat to Live restaurant. You can stop by or you can call 773-966-6549 or visit the website letseattolivecafe.com.
Thank you for making MLK Weekend a huge success on VON TV. If you missed the premieres of Speak Sister Speak featuring Cheryl Lee Ralph or VON Talks, you can catch them both on demand on VON TV. Coming soon, we're releasing our exciting February lineup featuring our Friday night of premieres and loads of interesting Black history content. And in the new year, VON TV has got a new look. We're providing an easier viewer experience as you explore loads of our great digital content. VON TV is easy to watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, WVON's app, or on any device at VON.TV. VON TV is our culture on purpose.
We're in the new year with passion, vision, and commitment. Driving our weekly radio show, Straight Words with Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad, Brother James G. Muhammad, and Brother B.J. Murphy. We're broadcasting on the historic WVON AM 1690, The Talk of Chicago, one of the few black talk radio stations in America. And we plan to stay here, and we're asking for your help. Our Straight Words radio show is Black America's collective heartbeat. a space for black voices, black stories, and the black struggle for true freedom, justice, and equality. We represent honest, spirited defenses of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan with clarity, accuracy, and bold truths. Make your strongest donation to help us via Cash App. That's $straight words. $straight words on Cash App. Via Zelle, send your donations to 312-480-9775. And using PayPal, send financial support to straightwords, 4, @gmail.com. And don't forget, brothers and sisters, tune in every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. to midnight Central Time on WVON AM 1690, or listen on the iHeartRadio app or WVON.com. Visit straightwords.com for our audio archives, and visit at Straightwords Media on YouTube for our videos and special features. We're black, we're strong, and we unapologetically pro-Farrakhan.
What's up, Chicago? This is BJ Murphy.
This is Naba'a Richard Muhammad.
Tune in Tuesdays, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight on WVON 1690, The Talk of Chicago.
And we're streaming live on iHeartRadio and WVON.com. So again, that's Tuesday night, Central Time, 9 p.m. to midnight. It's Straight Words with Naba'a Richard Muhammad and
Brother BJ Murphy.
And we are black, strong, and unapologetically pro-Farrakhan.
Hey, Alexa. Play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
The views expressed on our programs are not necessarily those of WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, we are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
In the Civil War, 400,000 blacks on the side of the North and the South. Some fighting to preserve the old South, others fighting to preserve the Union. After the Union was preserved, we had no Union, but thousands of black lives were lost in that war.
WVON 1690, The Talk of Chicago. We're back, brothers and sisters. This is Straight Words, Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad. Also, Brother James G. Muhammad. I'm Brother BJ Murphy. Straight Words, we need your support. $Straight Words on Cash App, $Straight Words on Cash App. Make your best donation to continue to hear compelling content like you're hearing tonight with all our special guests. And we ain't through. We got more with Dr. Wesley Muhammad.
Yeah.
Also,
Let's
312.
Yeah, I want to break in real quick, brother.
Okay, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Because we done had about 15 minutes of commercials, and Brother Wesley said he only had 15 minutes. So we're going to do this real quick. Kofi, Tawan, and then Mr. Johnson. I got to give you 1 minute to make your comment or ask your question so we can get Brother Wesley in. Brother Cam Howard and Brother Chris, hold on. We'll be getting to your segment on reparations in a few. Thank you for your patience. So let's go with Kofi. 1 minute, get your comment or your question in to Dr. Wesley. Brother Kofi.
All right, I'll need 30 seconds. Thank you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead, brother. Thank you for your patience.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah. I attended the Million Man March, and it was over 400,000. It was a million. And if you get 400,000 in the White House Capitol, you can get land. Okay? That's a fact. Now, reparations to create.
Brother Kofi, you breaking up. We can't understand you. Can you move a little bit to the left or the right? Yeah, you're breaking up.
Okay.
No, we can't hear you, unfortunately. Let's try it one more time. Let's try to speak again. Let's see. Try again. Go ahead. Go ahead, make your point. Yeah, bro, Kofi, we gonna have to let you. We're gonna have to let you go because we can't hear you. I'm sorry. Let's go to Tawan. Sister Tawan, you got 1 minute to make your comment or question to the conversation or to Brother Wesley.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Brother Wesley. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Wesley. This is Sister Tawan, one of the students from the open mic study line. You know, I claimed you as my intellectual conspiracy assassin. But I just wanted to say,
yes, ma'am. It's good to hear from you again.
Oh, praise be to Allah. I just wanted to say that when I was listening to the brother talking about the family and all that, and thinking of you, we just completed studying Waging War by Zip Code.
Yes, ma'am.
And currently reading Black Muslim Gods on the Moon. But the Waging War by Zip Code, Dr. Wesley, I wanted to say that, you know, God came to give us a code of conduct, one being how to eat to live. Many of us in the nation even did not know the value of what we had. And in order to I think a big piece of that, in order to develop strong families, we have to start from the beginning, which is what we take in, because we're seeing and we have the receipts on how it is affecting even our reproduction and our birth rate.
All right. Thank you, Sister Tawan. Go ahead, Brother Wesley.
No, I don't have anything to follow that up except to say you're right, and I will add that was a perfect point that you made in terms of code of conduct. Diet is such a critical code of conduct because, in fact, diet impacts behavior. How we act has a lot to do with what we eat, what we ingest. And so our ability and inability to act as men, for example, it is impacted by what we ingest, the chemicals we ingest. So there is no code of conduct that will benefit the community that does not have that critical element of diet and needing to live as a critical part. Thank you, dear sister, for making that connection.
All right, thank you. Let's go to Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, got to give you 1 minute to make your comment or ask your question to Brother Wesley.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can. Go right ahead, sir.
Okay, just observing what's going on in America right now. My question is, what's your take on these migrants coming in, and it looks like they're trying to wage a war between the blacks and the Mexicans and the Spanish. So, should we be take that to heart, or this look like it's something's gearing up? And what's your stand on that?
Yeah, the enemy never departs from a play in its playbook that is always successful. And when those Republican governors decided to do this thing that they're doing, exporting our brothers and sisters, so-called migrants, but they're indigenous to this land, but exporting them, dropping them off in democratic states in the way they do, that's abuse from the Republican governors' abuse of our brown brothers and sisters. And then in these democratic states, they make the decision to drop our brothers and sisters in the largely black areas, knowing the logistical and resource problem that will create in the friction, that it will intensify friction, pre-existing friction between the black and the brown, that the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam has been trying so hard to mend and overcome. But these conditions created by the very callous act of those Republican governors who exported
Is it unstoppable?
I'm sorry?
I said, is it unstoppable? Is it going to jump off?
Is what going to jump off?
A feud between the Hispanics and the blacks. A fight.
No. We would hope not. We have to see who's really the enemy. While, yes, dropping a brown family in the heart of the black areas in a way that puts black people out, black people who are already suffering loss, suffering resource deprivation. Yes, that increases the difficulty for black life and brown life. We're both affected, but if we fight each other, then we are executing the plan of the puppet master. That's his whole point. It was done.
Right, that's his plan.
But I think we black people, under the voice of the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan in Chicago, has heard God's voice through this man. We are capable, I believe, I have faith in us. We are capable of resisting the urge to villainize our brown brothers and sisters. They aren't the villain. We are made very uncomfortable by this situation, but they didn't do it. They are not the villain here. Both the Republicans who exported them like that and the Democrats here who made the decision where to send our brown brothers and sisters. They knew who they were inconvenienced by where they placed them, and they knew what the consequence will be. Our brown family are not the villains. There is a true villain in this story, and it's not them.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Let's take Kofi again, see if we can get him in. Kofi, we trying you again, my brother. Give you a question or comment. Okay. You got a minute, because we got to let Brother Wesley go, and we got to bring in these other guests.
Is that better?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead, loud and clear.
Yes, these South American indigenous who from Venezuela, children of the colonizers, they're here to wage war with us. One of my customers asked me, I'm here for your protection, but if we walk in peace, like we always have since they came here and saw us here, we'll be okay. Walk in peace, guide your family, fathers, guide your children, and we'll be okay. It's just another bump in the road. Everybody comes here. We understand why they come here to make money. But yes, they are going to intensify their pressure and wage war with us. That brother is spot on. But just greet them in peace, mind your business, and carry on. That's all I have to say.
Brother Kofi, thank you. Brother Wesley, thank you for your patience. I guess the final word is yours finally.
Yes, sir. The only I would make my final word this. It is not the Venezuelans who are waging war with us. I am as I say that, be clear, I am not naive, unaware of the white-minded myths that has seized a lot of our brown families.
Absolutely.
A lot of our brown family look at black people the way white people look at black people.
Right. That's right.
Everybody who thinks they can be white tries to be white, and everybody shows their whiteness by how they treat black people. Everybody does. Arabs, Hispanics, everybody who think they can do that, they do it. So I'm not oblivious to that reality. But I don't. No one's waging war with us except beating them. So if we are going to have war talk and war planning, if we are going to have a spirit of war, my God, it can't be against no Venezuelans.
Go ahead, Brother Wesley.
That's utterly absurd to me. There is a man who has, in the words of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said our former slave master is waging eternal war with us. If we don't have war talk for white people, then I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no war talk directed towards Venezuelans or anybody other than
right.
the enemy. And when I say war talk, I don't mean the parochial war talk, the gun-toting war talk, as if we're going to get our little guns and wage the war. No, that is as utterly absurd to me as talking war against Venezuelans. The white man has brought war to our shores. The pain caused by imposing our Venezuelan family in the spaces that these local and state governments have done. They imposed our family in the spaces that they are in, which disenfranchises the people who live there, black people. Yeah, it hurts, but keep, as Coach Prime says, keep the main thing the main thing. The Venezuelans ain't the main thing. The main thing is the enemy who's orchestrating this whole thing. So stop reaching for low-hanging fruit.
Brother Wesley, thank you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You try to give me P. Diddy, I'm going to give you Clive. I'm going to raise you Clive Davis.
Woo!
Go ahead.
All right. I got to go.
Okay, look, how do we get you? How do we get you? Where do we follow you real quick?
Wesley Muhammad on Instagram, Wesley Muhammad YouTube, Wesley Muhammad Facebook. And I think I'm Wesley Muhammad on TikTok.
All right.
I'm a TikTok, so I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Thank you, sir.
But most importantly, I'm sorry, my website.
Yes.
www.wesleymuhammad.com.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Love you.
Thank
Love
you, sir.
man. Thank you for giving us.
Walaikum.
Salam.
Walaikum.